What's going on, all you gamers? Today we're going to be diving back into some more Remnant 2, and this time we're going to be taking on one of the biggest puzzle areas in the game, and that's going to be the Lament. So if you want to know how to get all of the goodies, solve all of the puzzles and just make things a lot easier, then stay tuned, that's coming up next. So today we're back in Remnant 2, and this time we're making it over to the world of Yaisha, where we're going to be looking for this right here, the area of the Lament. Probably the biggest puzzle area in the game, so it's definitely worth knowing about. Right at the start, you're going to make your way forward, go through this door, and the first puzzle, which I've aptly named the arrow puzzle, is going to involve you crouching down and then making your way all the way through this area. Whilst you're crouched, you can't be hit by these arrows, so you should pretty much be golden. The only time you've got to be careful of things is when you're hurdling these right here, these type of barriers. And remember, as you go further on, there will be some arrows that shoot upwards as well. So time your jumps and you should be good to go. Eventually you're going to get to the end and get a little reward from this chest. You're going to pick all of those up. Then you're going to turn around, pull the lever, and it's going to allow you to move on to the next area. This next area is going to see you greeted with another puzzle, and this time it's a kind of tomb puzzle. You're going to see a lot of bodies all wrapped in what looks like cloth with glowing symbols above them. Just up this top layer is going to be a few more, and we're going to proceed up there later. But for the moment we're going to bop all the way down to the bottom here, and we're going to look at this book. This book is going to be the key to this, because you're going to want to match that symbol up to the bodies we've seen previously. So as you can see, each body is wrapped in a kind of cloth with a symbol on it, and you'll be looking to match the book one up in order to see which symbols we need. Luckily the book symbol is colour coded, so every time we've got a black one like you see there, we know that we're pretty much good to go, and then you're just going to want to remember the symbol. I went pretty much old school with this and jotted them down on a piece of paper, as I found it the easiest way to remember them. We've got 3 of the symbols down on this lower platform. Once you've checked out every single one of these and have written down all of the symbols you need to know, then you'll be able to move on and make your way further through. For this part you're just going to be journeying all the way through and trying to wrap around until you get to the top part of this area. There will also be a few rewards dotted throughout here, so it's well worth looking on your way if you want to pick them up to get some nice resources. But you're just going to be journeying through. I have edited this a little bit, so when you're doing it there will be a whole bunch of bad guys ready to take on, so this will take you a little bit longer. But eventually you're going to make your way, go up some stairs, and you'll be on the very top area. Exactly the same again, we're looking for the black blanket with that symbol. And this time we've got the very last one, giving us all 4 symbols to the puzzle, allowing us to crack the code. If you make your way a little bit further on, just over on the right, there will be a door that you may as well open up. And then you're going to go back to the kind of sundial puzzle and you'll be able to enter the solution. These can be done in any order, so don't worry too much. As long as you can remember them or have jotted them down, you should be completely fine. Now at this point you will have a kind of tough elite to take on most times, so I would say prepare for it. And they usually spawn out of one of these coffins just here. The Wither is absolutely no joke, but he's definitely worth taking out. Gives you one of the best mutators in the game, as you saw just there, the Overdrive mutator. And he also gives you something you're definitely going to need, the Kolkets razor. Travel a bit further on and you're going to find a checkpoint. Whilst you're here, you may as well look at the Kolkets razor that you've just picked up, and you're going to want to look at the bottom and investigate it. For this, you're going to find out that it's actually a key, which you'll be able to use a little bit further on in the Lament. Also, straight in front of you now is going to be a nice purple glowing object, one of the best rings in the game personally I think for the bleed builds, and that's going to be the blood tinged ring, which is going to regen 2 health per second when you're within a 10 meter vicinity of bleeding enemies. From here, turn back around and you're going to want to make your way just over here behind these kind of pots and vases in order to drop down to a secret area. At this point you're going to be in a kind of sewer, and you're going to want to travel just down here until you can eventually see something glowing right at the end, which is going to be this key item, the supply room key. You're going to turn back on yourself and just make your way back to exactly where you were. However, at this point you're going to go slightly up on the right here, make your way a little bit more forward until you see this ladder. You're going to go all the way up here, and then you'll be able to open up this door just in case you need to get back to the checkpoint. Turn back round, make your way all the way back down again, and the door we saw a little bit earlier is actually the one we have the key for that we just picked up, so use the supply room key here. Once inside, you're going to be able to get a few more resources from this chest just here. And then you're going to make your way through this hole and travel along in this direction. Once you get to here, we're on to our third puzzle, which I've named the saw trap puzzle because you're probably going to guess it, there's kind of saws going everywhere. Now this looks like a ridiculously tough puzzle, however you should mainly disregard these ones to the left and right. Focus on the middle, and there's two ways to do this. One would be if you've taken a bit of time, you're going to wait until there's the biggest gap between both of the blades before you start your run, and then you'll be able to make it all the way to the end. I don't actually want to do that here, so I do fall over just to show you what the fastest way is, which is going to be this one just here. Know that you're going to make this run, and just as you activate the puzzle, you're going to run straight through, dodging left and right, and even at my speed, which I think is probably the slowest run speed, you're able to make it all the way to the end with hardly any issues. If however you fail it, you'll just go back to the previous checkpoint and you'll be able to do it again, so don't worry too much. However, make your way all the way up here. Right in the middle there's going to be a special coffin to open up, and this one's going to give you one of the coolest looking armor sets in the game, the Red Widow armor set. I had a little look in here, I thought there might be something else special as it looks like a key area, but ultimately I couldn't find any more. So at this point you're either going to use your liquid escape or jump off the edge in order to go back to your last checkpoint. Obviously if you play on a hardcore, you're just going to run up there. But then you're going to turn around, make your way back to your previous sundial puzzle, and then just go through this door over at the end. You should now be able to see the lever that was at the very start of the game, but instead of going down there, you're going to make your way round until you get to this area just here. At this point, again, there'll be more baddies for you to take out. I've cleared most of them, but you're just going to want to drop down to the bottom, because just here is going to be one of the very last puzzles for you to tackle. And this one I've named the Invisible Path Puzzle. So as you've probably guessed it, there's going to be some floating tiles that you've got to get to, and it looks like it's absolutely impossible. However, if you crouch down, you'll be able to see a kind of shimmering path, looks a little bit icy, and that's going to show you the way that you're supposed to go. If you're not sure, then shoot in between each rock in order to see if the bullets go through. If you've got anything like the Sorrow, it's going to make this much easier, as it's going to completely stick in it and you'll have a nice easy guide. Make your way onto it, and then throughout this area do exactly the same, shoot in between the stones in order to see which path you've got to go. But you'll definitely be able to make it easier by crouching down, because that glimmering effect makes life easy. You're going to want to keep making your way through. It does sometimes get a bit tricky noticing which direction to go, so I would say probably give yourself a bit of time on this one, as you don't want to be starting again as you get closer to the end. But after a short while, you're going to completely make your way through, and you'll make it onto this last area just here, where there's going to be a door in front of you. Again, open up the chest, get yourself some nice tasty resources, and then you're going to want to use the Kolkets key that you discovered earlier in order to open this last room up. In here you're going to be able to get yourself the Ring of Diversion, as well as a few more resources. The Ring of Diversion is actually very nice for evading builds, and there's also one last secret that we can discover before we're out of here, and that's going to be this invisible wall just here, allowing you to go up this secret path. Once you make your way all the way to the end, you're going to drop down, you're going to be on a kind of burial boat, and then you're going to discover the Lodestone Crown. This one is actually really cool. Whilst it's not the heaviest in the armour sets, it has got a great effect to it, and as you can see, we absolutely make everything glitter around us. If you want to light the way forward or you're in a dark area, this is going to be the piece of gear you want to chuck on. Just so you can see the Red Widow armour set from earlier as well, I'm going to chuck that on. But ultimately, you've grabbed yourself some nice goodies. This is one of the best areas I've been in the game, and it's a lot of fun to go through. Hopefully you've all enjoyed that. There's going to be a load more content from me as I'm having a blast with this game. But for now, take care. I'll see you next day.